Hey guys, welcome to a recap of Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. And y'all, this episode, episode 788, All Rosé, it was a lot packed into one episode. I felt like a lot was going on, so many activities, so many issues, so many resolve. Like, yeah, this show is definitely giving. So let's get into this episode. Let's get into this recap. So where we last left off, Shanice was topless, y'all. She was topless on a balcony in front of the whole house, and everyone is like, "Oh my gosh, really, Shanice?" But you know, Shanice is our party girl. She just wants to have fun and let loose in the house. So she is not apologizing for this weekend. She is just being her free self after having a long week of work. She's here to relax, have a little vacation. So you guys got to get with the program because Shanice is here to have fun. So, guys, Bria, of course, she is missing this event. She is not attending. She is protesting the crew because she felt like what Shanice did was not cool. And so she does not want to involve herself into this rose party. So she's in her room taking a nap, but you know, her man Simon is so sweet. He goes back to up to her to bring her some food, which I thought was super sweet. He brought her a simple plate of food, and she's happy to receive it. And I would be too, because to miss out on the food, girl, why would you do that? I would have requested Simon, please send a plate if he wasn't going to bring me one. So now, Simon, of course, he spills what's going on at the party. He shares to Bria that, you know, Shanice was once again topless in front of the whole crew. And you know, Bria is not mad at this. She's not mad at all because now she wants to see what the house has to feel or say about this. Because they weren't really upset when it was her situation, but now since Shanice has been naked in front of the whole house, in front of the married men, well, only one married man, in front of the married man, she's wondering how the crew will now respond. So back to the dinner table. Shanice, she is now at the table, and Jasmine kind of nudges Shanice to, you know, address the situation with her and Alex. Remember, Alex was Googling Shanice and found out some information, found out this article about her. And Shanice, she doesn't really want to address it. She actually feels like she'll address it tomorrow. But then, anywho, we get a kind of like a segue, an opener to this conversation, and it's by Preston. Preston, he sets up a great opener. He's like, so so Shanice, do you feel like people are unfair to you? Which I thought would be a great way for her to kind of take control and have the platform to get her side out, because we're seeing a perspective, we're seeing a side of Shanice, which is the party fun girl. So we want to see the more serious side, so there's no confusion of who she is. Okay, she's just a girl who just want to have fun. That's what I took from those situations. But of course, she explains and says that, you know, that she does feel like people judge her quickly, and you know, I can see that because she's fun and free and people can judge based on that. But then you have Mama Jasmine chiming in and bringing up Alex and the Googling situation. But oh my God, Jordan, she was quick to shut it down. Jordan was like, no, let's not chime in. Let's just let these two handle it. We should not get involved, okay? The peanut gallery should not get involved. Now, Alex, he is sitting there confused. He's like, why am I in this? What is this all Alex Googling situation all about? So Alex, he asked for clarity. He asked for what did he do? And you know, he says that, you know, he's not the only one Googling. He said all y'all been Googling. Y'all Google each other, which I don't see anything wrong. If they were not familiar with each other, the internet is, you know, there. Why not kind of see or get an idea who you're going to be spending your summer with? Okay, I didn't see that as being such a crime, but they're making it such a crime. You know, Shanice says that pretty much he was the one to bring up the whole situation, and that was something that happened a year ago. But Alex called BS on this whole situation, and I stand by Alex in the sense that no, everyone in the house was talking about this. We saw unseen footage of the whole crew talking about it and saying that, Shanice should really use this opportunity to address this, to come forward and get in front of this whole situation, which I agree. And that was the whole crew. So why everyone is putting it all on Alex? So I like that Alex was at least standing up for himself as respectful as he could. So what Jordan, she chimes in though, and even though she was the one to say that, oh, we should not get involved if these two people talk, she stands up for Shanice, which Shanice needed because she Jordan does call out Alex on some things. Like, for example, you go and talk about this with everyone in the house except for Shanice. You could have given Shanice the respect to address her one on one because, that's just plain respect. Anyone can like Google something and find out information true and untrue. But if you're gonna say that person or build a friendship with that person, you do have to at least give them respect to at least ask them about it, to talk about it with them instead of just talking about it with everyone else in the house. That doesn't make no sense. Come on. And I can see why Jordan feels so passionate about the situation. And it's because she lived through that moment with Shanice, with all the headache, the bullying, the suffering that went through with the backlash of that situation. So I can see how Shanice kind of want to make light, but she can't when everyone here is now seeing that situation pretty much as if it happened just yesterday. So guys, Alex does get support. Alex gets support from the guys. The guys feel like it's not really an Alex thing. It's more of a Shanice thing, and how Shanice should, like, step forward and really address this issue, and it's actually would work better in her favor. So Summer in her confessional, she's like, I can't believe like Alex Googled people. Like, who Googles people? And the producers, they ask if she looked up anyone in the summer house, and she's like, yeah, I looked up their Instagram just to see what they look like. But that's pretty much the same thing. I feel like when you look up someone's Instagram, not only are you just looking at what they look like, you're looking at like who they follow, their interests, what do they like to do, if they're within the same vibe as you. So I feel like Instagram, Googling, it's all the same thing. And guys, these people are just being hypocrites. So I feel like it's the same thing. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. So Jason in his confessional feels like, it's fair to Google people. It's just that you can't just hold them to that and not talk to them and address it with them. Anyone can find out information, true or false, on the internet. Anything could be made up online. So Nick, he says that he Googles everybody. He feels like that's the most pragmatic thing to do. And I'm with him on that. I see no crime in Googling people. I just feel like it's more about what do you do with that information? How do you act with that information? What's the purpose of that information in the first place? Like, if I'm seeking to Google someone, it must be because either I'm getting into a business deal with them, someone in my family is heavily involved with them, or something there must be a reason. Um, would I Google a friend? I don't know. I never been in position to Google a friend. I feel like we meet most of our friends when we're like growing up in school and college. I think nowadays, as you get older, you may need to Google someone because you don't know anyone's past. But would I judge anyone based on their past? No, because I feel like everyone can evolve, everyone is growing and changing. So I feel like even if I did Google that information, what it would mean to me is pretty much knowing a little bit of the person's background. And I feel like you could get to know someone's background by talking and getting to know them. Because it's one thing from talking and getting to know from them than just to see on a piece of paper this XYZ about them. So I feel like, with Shanice, I feel like they're being quite harsh. I feel like it shouldn't be a big deal. I feel like even if that article did not exist, I feel like maybe Alex and Shanice would not mesh as friends because she's really, really a party. having fun type of girl, and Alex is more of a Zen, chill, Jesus type. So they, this may still have been an issue with them, and I just feel like they're finding a problem where there doesn't need to be an issue. So Alex, he stands up for himself. He's like they're not making him the villain, and they roll the footage, the unseen footage of everybody, the guys and Bria talking about this whole situation about Shanice and how she should come forward and step in front of it and get her side of the story out there. So he doesn't like that Jordan is pretty much turning him into a villain. And he removes himself from the situation, which is good because if that's not a situation you want to be a part of, remove yourself from the situation. But I feel like, Shanice, she hates that Alex is turning himself into a victim because it was never about Alex, okay? Shanice just wanted to have fun. And I felt like, Shanice, everyone, Shanice, this happened to Shanice quite some time ago, so she's past that. But, since these people are now meeting her and getting to know her and hearing this information, it feels like for them it just happened, okay? So I can understand and see how Shanice needs to address and get in front of this. But she hates confrontation. She's not a confrontational girl, guys. So Alex, he returns back to the table, and Jason says to him that he could have handled the situation differently. And that's when Amir is the voice of reason. He says that, everyone is chiming in, but Shanice wanted to have this conversation tomorrow. So that's when that one on one would have happened. So, of course, this would have handled differently and probably better if just those two was to talk about it. But clearly, to me, it's not a conversation just for those two, it's a conversation within the house since everyone has their input about that situation. Okay. So the crew wants to move forward, and I'm like, we'll see. I feel like what more can they go over about this topic? I feel like it's pretty much a done topic. So they have no choice but to move forward unless they just want to have a miserable time in Martha's Vineyard. And who wants to have that? So we move on. Dinner is over. And now Amir and Shanice are dancing. So it's all good vibes. Bria, she is sleeping, but Simon, he comes in to let her know what's going on, what's the activities. I like Simon. Simon says he shows up for the both of us. He shows up, okay? So he tells her what went down, and then Jordan and Alex, they get into a thing. I did not see this coming. I feel like this came out of nowhere for me, and I know you guys as viewers too, didn't see this coming at all either. So Alex and Amir, they're looking at each other like, what is going on? First, they were like joking, but then it got serious. But then they thought she was joking, and I thought she was joking. But then when she got emotional, I took it like, oh my God, this is actually more serious than it is. So our girl Jordan, she shares that she doesn't like how Alex has been sexualizing her throughout this whole vacation more than once. And I'm like, he did? And then they roll the footage, and when they put it all together, I say, oh, damn, this is not good. So this is where we get to see Jordan get very emotional, and we're seeing pretty much a breakdown, y'all. And Alex and Amir, so confused, don't know how to handle this situation. Even me, I don't know how I would handle in that situation because she's saying such a big thing. She feels like these guys are sexualizing her, and that's terrible. And you're living in that environment when you probably want to be somewhere else. You don't want to be in that house anymore. So she calls out Amir and says that he's also doing the same thing to her too. And it is brought up what Alex had said to Jordan about Amir calling dibs on Jordan so that, Alex didn't feel comfortable to really get to know Jordan so much. So that situation, catches up, and she feels tired of being labeled and not having a say from her side. So she starts crying, and when she starts crying and you hear her tears, the girls, they came and rallied to go comfort Jordan. Oh my God, I felt so bad for her in that moment, because I didn't see this coming out of nowhere. I feel like this is built up frustration from the whole trip of everything coming together because those guys, they look so shocked. And I felt like seeing Amir, it was like a puppy love situation. Alex, he's like super zen Jesus guy. So I know those two were definitely shocked. But, this may have been the moment that, Jordan needed to release those frustrations to say what was bothering her, those feelings, okay? So Bria in her confessional says that when you Google Jordan, you see the sexualized version of her, but when you get to know her, you know her that that's completely opposite to who she is, and that must be hard to like what the crew said. Everyone is Googling each other before they got into the house, so they probably had a perspective to who Jordan is, but she obviously doesn't act the same way as what she portrays on social media. So Jordan, in her confessional, she shares that the breakdown was a combination of a lot of feelings, but I do think the pressure of the house was getting a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot, especially when you're hearing people googling each other and having an idea of them, and they're making a judgment call over them. So I can see how she can see herself in that situation because they could have easily judged Jordan in that situation, just like Shanice. I mean, these guys, they had an idea that Jordan's gonna be this sex siren in the house, that she's gonna get with this guy, or does she want that guy when she just wants to have fun on vacation on Martha's Vineyard. And this all came out from Alex poking fun of Jordan's celibacy. And, I felt like that was a soft point for her. And Alex, he could have said it even better. He said that, one person's joke can be another person's trigger. So I feel like, if she's like doing something and, something with a purpose and it's a journey, we cannot poke fun and make light unless it's a safe thing to talk about. If you don't know her journey personally, you can't just go in and make jokes about it. So I could completely see where Jordan is coming from. I just felt so bad for her in that moment because it was all coming out at once. I was like, oh my God. But the way the producers put the footages together, did not serve Amir or Alex at all. So Amir, he goes and talks to his friend on the phone, pretty much getting his frustration out. And I felt like this was like, him processing the situation. He was just, venting to his friend. His friend was listening, being an ear, and said that when you get back, I'll be there. So they'll catch up. And I just felt like this was just a moment for him to just vent. He realized, that ultimately he realized it's not going to be a thing between him and Jordan. That was just, what it was in the beginning is not what it is at the end, okay? So everyone is doing their own thing. Alex and Amir, they talk things out. And, that's when they have that talk to say that one person's what's funny for one is a trigger for another. And they kind of call it truce. I don't think these two are mad at each other. They're just, probably upset that the situation was escalated to a bigger situation where someone in the house is crying and having a meltdown. So that's what I took from that talk. I do not think that's Amir and Alex gonna have an issue. We'll see. I mean, it's early to call, but I didn't read it as that. I'm so curious what you guys think. But I like that Silas, he before the night was over, he wanted Jordan and Amir to have a talk. And Amir, he does apologize, and you see Jordan receives the apology. I felt like she wanted him to stay in that situation and not just walk out. So she felt like she was being heard, but they hug it out, and I feel like they want to move past this. We can see that Amir, he's not a person who wants to make people feel bad. If anything, he's very considerate and very thoughtful into every one of his castmates. Like, he steps into situations that don't even involve him, and he makes sure that is to protect his loved ones. So I feel like these two are gonna be good. I think he understands it now that there's a boundary, that this is only gonna be friendship, so treat it as such. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Because who knows, things can change in the future. So I'm just happy they're able to get at a better pace place with each other. So it's time for them to go to bed because they had enough to do for the day. But then we get a little bit of nighttime adventures. We see the boys try to pull Preston out of the bed. And guys, it's the next day, and the Coopers are off to a bad start. And I feel like the reason they were off to a bad start because we didn't see last night of them getting it on. So I feel like the next morning is not gonna be as good. So I felt like that contributed to the morning's fight because they started fighting about Silas' pants. Apparently there was a stain on Silas' pants, and Jasmine had to iron it out, or she ironed it out incorrectly, but it became a whole thing, and it ended up his pants being like having like a defect on it, and I feel like Jasmine should have just burnt that pan. Let's just burn it. Let's just burn it. It's just giving bad vibes. So we then get to see Preston FaceTime his man, his man. They've been together for 2.5 years, which is 10 years engaged. I just like that. That was such a funny comment. So tonight he shares with his man that he's planning a soul food night as well as a pride party for the house. So y'all, they are doing a lot this episode. They are doing the most. So the girls, they check in on Jordan, and she seems to be in better spirits, but it seems that there is still some lingering feelings. I feel like she still has to process that moment to understand why she exploded like that on Amir and Alex. So I feel like she still has to process that out. So we see Alex talk to his brother on the phone, and he is planning pretty much the last hurrah for the house. What he wants to do is create a whole experience, have a whole music session jam, and I can't wait to see, like, guys, they're wrapping up this season already. I feel like wow, but they're putting every little inch of effort into this so we can enjoy Martha's Vineyard. So we see Preston, and Preston is preparing for the food. They said it was gonna be at 7:30, but y'all, we know that was not happening. I watched it go from daylight to sundown. I said, when they gonna eat? When they gonna eat? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! But we get to see Jordan, and she FaceTimes her dad, and I feel like she looks just like her daddy. They have the same face shape, same eyes. I said that is daddy's girl. And of course, she's sharing her experience of the house to her dad, and her dad just rides or his daughter. He supports her and says, "No, you cannot take that BS. Don't take that." So I'm happy she got a little talk and support from her father. We need that sometimes. Just someone to just listen and just support, support, support. So we get a little bit of history lesson on soul food. Pretty much, this is something made out of nothing. Because Amir, he wasn't sure. He was wondering the history of the food that they were making. If it was truly from scraps. So of course, the group informs him so he could be made aware of the history of soul food that is something made out of nothing that tastes so good. So we see Nick, and he's talking to his girlfriend Tasia, and he keeps saying this, but I'm just waiting for this to happen. He said his girlfriend is coming, his girlfriend's coming. It's been what, how many episodes? We still haven't seen her yet. So I'm wondering if we're gonna actually get to see her, hopefully, because he's been talking about it quite so much. So it is now 8:52 and dinner is ready, y'all. 8:52 for dinner. Oh my god, that is way too late. That is way too late. What time are you gonna go to sleep? Your stomach gonna be so full. Gosh. So it's 8:52 and it's dinner time. Jason blesses the food, and everything just came out super good. I'm so hungry. I don't get to eat yet until after this. So I had to watch them eat the chicken, and I'm like, oh, that looks so good. So now, in this same episode, guys, we're getting a whole pride party. The Real Housewives of Atlanta girls could never. You see, this is a whole new season, whole new franchise of Summer House, and we getting a whole lot in these 7 little episodes. So they're having a pride party, and guys, I felt like that was super appropriate for this month. We're in the month of June. This is Pride Month. But also, we have Preston talk about the history of Pride, how it started from a riot. And we all know that the gay community, the LGBTQIA community, still has, its issues that they're tackling, and they need our support. So I'm glad that they introduced that into this episode in a much more perfect timing. And you have the support of the whole house, because the everyone in the house is not gay. Only Preston is gay. So he was representing, and he was having his friends being super supportive. So it was very nice to see a hetero, not like a all gay crew, but you have like alliance from hetero men. Okay, that is amazing to see. Actually, it's very good, especially for this generation, to see that it's embraced and it's welcome and it's inviting. Like, you can have a friend group that's inviting and accepting of who you are, and that's the way it should be. So I like that. And the crew, they have a dance off, guys. It was so much going on in this episode. They decided, oh, let's do a dance episode. No, a dance performance. I was thinking what they're gonna do next. A samba, a limbo situation, but a lot happened in this episode. So they have a dance off, and the dance party was actually more of the guys just dancing but stripping in a way. So that was a cute, fun little performance. Overall, everyone was just having fun, and it was good to see because the opening of this episode was quite a lot. So I'm happy we're, get going up and having fun and ending things on a better note. So it's time to call it a night. And y'all, everyone is going to sleep but the Coopers. But the Coopers, this is not going to be another good night. No. So Silas, he wants to talk about his pants. And at this point, I want Jasmine to take those burnt pants and throw them in the trash, because this whole conversation is trash. So I just want them to go to bed. So it's the next day, and tell me why Silas has the nerve to go up to Jasmine and ask her to use her toothbrush. First of all, ew, that's nasty. To ask her to use her toothbrush, since his toothbrush he scrubbed off the stain from his pants. The nerve on this man to remind her about that whole situation. He should have just let it go. I know you can order off of what Uber Eats, have some toiletries be sent to you, but don't bring this up again. So yeah, then we have Shanice, and she's packing up her things. She is leaving, y'all. This is the last time we're seeing our girl Shanice in the house. She says she had a fun time, but see her next Martha's Vineyard, next vacation. She has to go to work. So now she's gonna be in her serious, in her bag mode. So she says goodbye to everyone, even Alex. She has no hard feelings. She's not bothered about the situation. She said she has moved on, and it's really the people in the house making it a bigger deal than what it is. So we'll see. Hopefully, I want to see a season 2. See if there's gonna be, any residual attitudes towards this whole situation. But then we get to see Jasmine and Jason kind of have a talk about, you know, uh, Silas, and how the frustration she has with Silas. And she's making his food to bring it up to him. She brings it up to him to give it to him, and he says he can't eat it because it's a starch. I'm like, sir, we started off on a bad foot in the morning. You want to continue on this path? Like, I know when he watches this, he's gonna see his side, how he comes off, and this is gonna be a learning moment, a teachable moment for him to get better. Because I don't want this couple to end in divorce. They're a new couple. The first year, they say, it's always the hardest, but luckily for them, they're seeing, you know, in a in a third point of view, another point of view of what they look like when they're fighting. So hopefully this is something that they can use as a tool to improve on their marriage, because Silas needs some work. But I'm happy that, Jasmine, she at least trying to stick up for herself. And I can't believe that he was playing too much. So next week is actually our season finale. already. I said that was so quick, but I was so heavily entertained by this whole summer house situation that we have going on here in Martha's Vineyard. So we saw the preview, and guys, it's gonna be a lot of drama, a lot of stuff going down, stuff going up. I'm scared for Bria. Someone put the pause on Bria. Was it Summer? Summer and Bria got into it. Gosh, the preview was doing too much. I can't wait for sure. So, guys, I want to know what you guys think of this episode. I know some of you said you don't really like this show, that it's giving, trash, it's giving too much. But I want to know why. Why? Because what am I not seeing that you guys are seeing? I want to know. So let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, I appreciate every one of you. You guys have no idea what it means to get a comment. It makes my whole day. So I appreciate that so much. And as always, take care and love you guys always. Mwah, 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 mwah. See you soon. Bye.